Hello everybody, it's Miss Darling in the studio. I welcome you, and today I'm going to be showing you a collection of very mostly neutral masterboards that I've created, some off camera and some on camera. And I'm going to show you the masterboards, maybe give you some design tips or some strategy, things that I was thinking about as I was creating them. And we'll also take a look at some that are more fully then embellished, so they could be cut up into various ephemera, including tags or postcards, art cards, or just little bits and bobs that one could use here and there on a journal or ephemera in the future. So let's get started. I welcome you and hope you'll stay for the whole video. Play the video all the way through, learn something in the process, and hopefully you'll be inspired as well. Okay, here's one of my very neutral masterboards that I made, and from a design standpoint, I just wanted to point out how, I like to sprinkle certain things all around so that helps give it continuity and balance. And so you'll see some of the dark numbering here and up here and dark lettering over here. That's just to kind of spread it around so that you don't wind up with some huge imbalance. And sometimes I like to do a little surprise, like adding this little particular certificate from the State Department that had this red seal on it, and that sets this up nicely to add more red to it for an embellished masterboard that would be cut up. And we'll maybe see one of those a little later. I guess we're going to see one right away. So here was the same masterboard. When I printed off the copy board, it added a little bit more yellow here and there, unfortunately, but you just have to work with it as you have it. And you can see how I had put some images on to embellish it further. And then, of course, I just had to cut it up and look at all the... In fact, let me first move out of the way these other ones so that they're not visually impeding on what we're doing. Okay, I think that's better. And so here you can see the more embellished masterboard. This was the original, and this is a copy, and then I embellished on the copy. And then I was able to make a copy of that and cut that up into all of these really nice tags. I have 4 tags there plus a bookmark, and you see how great it is, and it's just so fun to see what you can get out of them. Oop, oh my, there's an art card hiding underneath, so I got even more out of that. And so, as I was saying, it's just really fun to just create something. You have no idea how it's going to wind up, and then suddenly you've got something that you can expand on and turn into something very usable for almost any junk journal, and specifically something of a vintage nature. And so now here we have another one, and this is sort of the same idea, and I want you to pay attention to how I moved and added some of the dark numbers and letters around it to balance it. And then this one I have further embellished with these beautiful floral stickers, which I had in my stash. And so now let's take a look at what we were able to get from that masterboard. There's 2 large tags, really cool. Here's one that I then added a butterfly. Here's one that I added a couple butterfly smaller pieces on top to finish that out. And then we have two small tags. And these we have two small tags with additional embellishment. This was not embellished. I got that from the masterboard itself. I did add the, I added the number 16 there, and then I added the butterfly to this one. And then I have these little pieces here that I can use at any time in the future to, you know, add to something else. So that one was really fun, and I'll definitely be able to use this in a journal I'm already working on. And so that's even greater still. So I put those together. And let's see, what do we have next? Okay. This was the original masterboard, and I think I did this one on camera. I don't remember. And added this two pieces of black lace. And again, you know, just working to spread the lights and darks around to give it unity and balance. And then from that, I embellished it further so I could cut up the copyboard. And so here is the copyboard that has other embellishments on it. You can see it's much fuller than the original masterboard. So let's see what we were able to get from that. I always start with my two largest tags and then see what I can get further out of it. So we got these two large tags, and I don't believe there's no embellishment on them. And then I got a medium-sized one, and then this art card. And this could be a bookmark. And then these are just bits and pieces that I can use in the future to add to something. So that was my haul for that one. So the great thing about this is when you cut these out, even if you wind up with some pieces that you don't like all that much, you can always add something to them and change them up and turn them into something that you like better. So then here's another masterboard, and I had added these, I don't know, what are they called? Keys. I guess they were keys, vintage keys that I came across. Again, I have the numbers and sprinkled around and filled that up. And then, I always try to preserve my original masterboard and then cut up from a copyboard. And so here's what I was able to get from the copyboard. Again, my two large tags that I like to start with, a medium-sized one. We got this nice bookmark. I suppose that could be a bookmark too, or it could be just, other embellishment ideas. And then I got this little small tag here. And so I was very happy with what I was able to get. I did add this here to that one, but that's the only, I did add a butterfly to this small tag, and that was the only further embellishment that I did on any of them. So very pleased with these really unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that you'll not see anywhere else. That's the great thing about, making your own masterboards, is what you get from them is uniquely yours and yours alone, unless you wind up selling it or giving it away. So now here, why do I have this? Well, Here we have a fully embellished masterboard. These are our collage pieces that were put on top of the basic masterboard. You can see it's really full and ready for being cut up. And so then I would make a copy board, and you can see this is a little bit yellower than the original, and that's what happens. And so when you then cut your pieces from the copy board, this is what I was able to get. I just love how those turned out, and just really unique and different. Here's a bookmark. We've got 2 tags here, and I'm going to tighten up just a bit, and then a little card here that, these pieces like this can always just be stuck inside something. Maybe you've got an envelope that's empty, and so you need to fill it up with little pieces of whatever. And so, these would be great to stick in an envelope as just surprise pieces if you were selling or, giving away your journal, and then you had these little bits and bobs in there, and that no one is expecting to find. It just makes it all the better. So that's what we got from that one. Now we're going to introduce a little bit of red into our neutral color, which I thoroughly love doing. And so this was a copy board back here, and then I added a bunch of stickers, and this was a fussy cut piece that I had, and some other pieces that I've added onto it to turn it into a board that is ideal for cutting into smaller ephemera. And so that's exactly what I did. I made a copy of the copy board, and so I got this large tag and a medium-sized one, smaller pieces. So we got 3 smaller tags and an art card, and then a couple of little extra pieces. And so maybe didn't quite get as much as I normally do, because I only have 1 large tag, but still, you got to look for, the best composition that you can get from one board to another. And that's why I love so much having acrylic templates that help me position things so I can maximize what I'm getting. You see that this was cut right in there. Okay. But the acrylic templates, you can see through them, and you can move them around, and then make your decisions on where best to cut to, be happy with the compositions of your ephemera. So now here's a master board that I made using these very subdued and dark, so you have to then bring in lighter ephemera on top so that you have good contrast and can actually see what you're embellishing them with. And so you can see that, like here, the my dragonfly, my numbers, my little fairies stand out real nice against the background. Readability, that's what that's called. You need to be able to read them, and so especially from a slight distance. It's one thing to see something clearly when it's right in front of your nose. It's another thing to be 3 feet away and taking a look at it. And so you want to be able to have some nice contrast going on between the background and the foreground. and so be aware of that. Now here was a piece that I did, and for some reason I decided to put this moth up here, and I really didn't like the moth too much, but there it was. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to stop here and let's make a copy board of this and then see what we can do with it. And I added all kinds of little bugs and just everything under the sun. This is all fussy cut bugs that I have in my stash, and just, you know, pasted them down everywhere, and then proceeded to cut them into ephemera. So let's see what we got. Obviously I added a little something to this. I covered over some of the things that, you know, I guess I'm not really into bugs too much. It depends on the bug. Here's a beautiful little honeybee, and I kept a few things, but over here I did cover over something down here that I didn't like with some fabric, and then added some butterflies and a large number there. And here's a few more tags that I was able to get with some beetles and bees. And for instance, this guy looks really icky to me, but there he is in all his glory. And maybe I'll use these in something. I don't know. They could sit here for years and not ever be used, because I'm not really bug crazy, but we'll see. And it's just fun to play around and see what you can come up with. Oh, had another tag under there that was hiding, and a little grasshopper on that one. But, you know, am I going to use these? Probably not, but I can always cover them over with something else if I choose to. For now, I just wanted to show you what I was going to get out of a very unusual masterboard like this. I hope I'm giving you some nice ideas, things that you can do to play around with. Here is a copy board of that same earlier one that had the moth on it. And in this particular case, I went a completely different direction, added a bunch of numbers everywhere, and you know, no more other bugs. That's the only one there. And probably should have covered that up, since it's not really something I like too well. But anyway, so this was a different take on the same masterboard I showed you earlier. And so let's see what we got. There's a large tag, a medium-sized tag, and another medium size, a smaller one, and an even smaller one. And we got a little art card here with a nice little bird cage on it that I added. And, you know, so these are great pieces to stuff in envelopes, or, you know, in a tuck somewhere. Just tuck them in and be done with it. And, you know, just make use of, I'm just pointing out how many pieces you can get out of a single masterboard that really make them worth making, and, you know, taking the time and trouble, because it can add so much to your stash of things that you have to pull from later when you get to making a journal where color-wise or theme-wise these would be really appropriate to stick in. So there you have it. I don't know how many I have here in the group, but obviously there was a lot of work involved in putting this together, and I hope you'll do me the courtesy of watching the video all the way through, taking from it what you can to help you in your own creativity, using it for inspiration and ideas, and I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Leave me a comment and like the video if you enjoyed this kind of content. I need to hear from you, so I'll do more. Anyway, thanks for being here. This is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.